We've got Kurt Busch, driver of the number 45, 23XI Toyota, joining us here this morning. Kurt had an opportunity to get on the track yesterday, and Kurt, just want to start it off real quick. Just give us your thoughts of the repave here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it was exciting to go out on track and be in a different environment, but yet here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's completely changed with the banking, the fresh asphalt. It's a clean slate, and the next gen car is a clean slate. And so yesterday was a big day with just excitement and anticipation of how the track would drive and how it would feel. And you know, there's still a few spots out there like, okay, there's turn 3's character, it's there. But right now with the grip level and the asphalt, it really is a fun situation of just trying to get the car as low as we can and as trimmed out as we can. And we're doing all these different Speedway style adjustments at Atlanta Motor Speedway, a track we've never done those types of adjustments on. So it's just a balance of learning the nuances and the newness to it. And then once we got out there in a group last night with Chastain and Buescher, the pace picked up by over a second with having the cars draft together. So there's a lot of speed that you have by yourself, and then things were amplified way more than what we expected when we had just 3 cars drafting with each other. So you can imagine what 30 of them will do, 40 of them. You know, the high groove will come in, the middle groove and high groove will come in later once we have more cars running to keep that surface clean. It's just hard to go up there right now on a test session because that's where the rubber buildup will go. And the track hasn't quite groomed itself in to make sure that we can go in all lanes just yet. So good first thumbs up for everything. And the transitions, you know, from the higher banking down onto the flat are just steeper and more exciting. But overall, the track did a great job, and it's a task. It's an engineering marvel to bank a racetrack with this much banking and keep the turns this sharp and to have it as smooth as it is. They did a really good job.
I want to open it up to questions. Doug Turnbull down here in the front right.
So, Kurt, one of the concerns I think when people saw the layout, for the first ever little bit was done at the track, during the weekend that you won the most recent Cup race here, was, is it going to be wide enough to actually drive 2 and 3 wide? And you seem to think that there is room for the second and third group, I guess.
Yeah, taking a little bit of the distance away will make it tight for 3 wide. But again, it's just a matter of getting more laps, the trucks, the Xfinity, the Cup guys out there to get more comfortable with it. 2 wide will be no problem. The 3 wide, yeah, you'll have that when you have the right opportunity with hot tires, the grip level, and when people are more comfortable with their setups. So it's just going to ramp up and get more and more aggressive as we get more and more laps on track.
Right over here, from WGXA. Is there anything that you don't like about the track as of now that you might have thought might have been a little bit different before you tested it yesterday?
The only thing that the drivers raised as a concern is the front straightaway is wider now, and so we're further away from the dogleg walls. And so if we could curve in the dogleg walls a little bit and still put the safer barrier back up, that would help with safety as well as just the flow and the feel down the front straightaway.
You've been through this process of a number of other places I take. What do you look for when you go in for something like this?
Anytime there's the fresh asphalt and a repave, you have the oils coming up out of the asphalt, and Goodyear usually brings a tire that's on the conservative side, and so it makes it to where it's pretty slick when you're out there at first, and you just have to build the heat in the tires. You got to build through the oils feel in the asphalt. You got to kind of burn it off. And so the more cars that run here, the better the track will be. You just have to make the right steps and work your way up to that limit. You can't just go out there and think that it's the old place. You got to respect it.
Yeah, and from a driver's standpoint, what is the difference in the sensation when you're in the seat to what this place was when it was the rough asphalt?
I think the biggest thing once we get more cars and into the draft situation is in NASCAR we have our Daytona and Talladega style draft. and those are on 2.5, 2.66 mile tracks. This is a 1.5 miles. Things are going to be moving quicker. You're going to be digesting things much faster, and you're going to have that Daytona, Talladega style feel here at a 1.5 miles. So it's just going to change the game and the way you have to absorb it. Maybe I'm just saying that because I'm an old guy and the young kids will think nothing of it, but things are moving quick on a 1.5 miles with the super speedway style feel.
How do you think it changed the history of the track?
It will have a whole new feel. It'll have a whole new type of look, and I hope that it provides the racing that we all want to see and absorb here in 2022. You know, the old surface and how it was that racer's racetrack, and we'd be out there sliding around trying to work on tire management. That really won't come into play now. It's going to be more of a drafting game, raw speed, and whatever you have to do to work within the rules to gain that speed. You know, I think we can change the tapered spacer and add horsepower at any time and make the speeds go through the roof. But I think we're just trying to find that right balance of drafting and handling, as well as maintaining a tire's integrity to not blow right through a Goodyear tire.
That being said, when you first heard that this was going to be happening, was it something you were in favor of, not sure, and has anything changed now that you've kind of been out there and got to see what it was like?
Yeah, I felt like the speeds were a little slow to start, but in the draft, we picked up over a second, and I know we'll continue to pick up more and more speed once we get all the cars here together. I think it's the right progression, and we have 2 races here. Maybe in July we change things around to see what that balance could be like.
I heard you just talk about raw speed. Do you think this could be one of the fastest tracks on the circuit once it gets broken in by different drivers and things of that nature?
It can be. It just depends what rules package they allow us to run. You know, I remember back in the day when Jeffrey Bodine set the track record here at 197, you know, back in 1997, right? It just had that cool factor of how fast can we go. And I think the fastest 1.5 miles right now is Texas. I actually think me and Billy Scott have that track record, as a matter of fact. And so we'll see what rules package they give us, and it'll be our job to go find the speed.
How's your marriage been to the next gen car so far?
It's been a good progression. You know, there's so much newness, and with the gearbox, the independent rear suspension, the 18-inch tire and wheel, the single lugs. I mean, I've watched the pit stop practices. It's amazing how different things are for those guys as well. And the key factor with the next gen car is its movement on track and its movement in the draft or movement around other cars. It never seems to quite settle just right yet. And lap 10 of a run is very different than lap 20. The tire pressure buildup is making the car drive completely different later in the run than what it does early in the run. So as a driver, there's a lot more to digest and adapt to and to try to work through. Keeps us on our toes right now.
We'll go to Doug Turnbull. Anybody else have anything besides Doug? You got one more over here, so let's do Doug, and then we'll do Sam, and then we'll wrap it up.
So what were, if you're allowed to disclose what the speeds were like in the last day of testing, and then also was only the 550 package tested, and what size spoilers?
Yeah, as far as speed, I don't ever know what mile per hour we're running. It's just all about lap time. We were running 3160s by ourselves, and then in the draft it was 3060s. And I expect that to get below 30 seconds, which I think in 2016, when did Harvick win the race that year? I think the pace that he was running that year was low 30s. So maybe we'll crack the 29s, I don't know. And then whatever balance changes they're gonna bring for this package, it'll get confirmed next week at Daytona as well. So they're trying to keep things simple and not have to make too many parts and pieces for the teams to buy and to manufacture, and they're trying to blend a couple tracks together.
We got a new car, new surface, and new team. Somebody keeping notes on all this stuff?
Yeah, I'm that brain emoji where my brain's blowing off, right? There's a lot to digest. It's been fun, and you know, at the same time, just being fluid with it all and being adaptive. I think that's what has helped prolong my career to be out here for, this will be my 23rd full-time season. And it's just continued to adapt and having fun with it. And, you know, tire wear, I think, is going to be the big story this year. Once we get further down the road with some of these races, you're going to see how much these cars drop off as far as pace, and it puts it more into the driver's hands.
Kurt, one last question. What do you feel Pete fans can expect when they come out here to Atlanta Motor Speedway to see the race in March and in July, based on what you've been able to see out here on track and what you've experienced in testing so far?
It's the newness factor. You know, when a track invests this much time, energy, and money into a repave and into a new configuration, so to speak, you want to be part of it. You want to be there for that first race and that first feel. And I hope that this draws that attention in for Atlanta Motor Speedway. And then with a second date in July, Supercross will be here, right? I think that's in March as well, or April. There's just a lot of excitement for this track and for this facility, and you want to be part of it.
Before you go, can you just give me your first and last name and spell it for me? I'll pop in a little bit later.
Sure. Kurt Busch, K-U-R-T, B-U-S-C-H. I'm the driver of the number 45 Monster Energy Toyota Camry TRD. All right. Thanks,